as we work on growing and making strides and where we want to go, I think for us is the fact that, in the third quarter, multiple times we could have had it to a 10-point game was a big takeaway for us. I think just the physical presence that they bring at every position and the length and size and how you have to handle that is another good takeaway for us. They're as good as anybody we've seen in the country play this year. Not that we've gone against, but just that we've watched. They're very talented. So it was a good test for us. They are who we want to be down the road, and so it's a good benchmark for everybody to be exposed to a team like Baylor.
This week, what have you really noticed about her development in the past couple of weeks, and what's her ceiling as a player?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to get that, especially coming off a couple Big 12 losses. They don't typically reward a player with that accolade. So I think it speaks volumes for her and her play, number one, and then secondly to our team and the respect that we're earning as we're growing and as we're moving forward. So I think that it's really significant that she was able to get that for the third time coming off especially the loss with Baylor.
Coach, as you rebuild this program, what is the next goal that you feel that the next step that you'll know that you've made progress in your goal to rebuild?
Well, for us right now, it's what's in front of us, and it's the Big 12 season. I thought that we handled non-conference fairly well, having come off the season they did last year and pretty much having that same team with the exception of a couple of JUCO players and Chrislyn Carr in the mix. So I think, it's measuring stick now is the progression in Big 12 play and wins and losses, absolutely, but also just how we are performing in those games. How are we competing? How are we getting tougher and maturing as a team and as a unit as we move forward with the program? Those are things that are really important to me and our staff as we evaluate every game in the Big 12.
Jessica Washington is a really good guard. She's a really good shooter there for Kansas, and she obviously didn't get a chance to play last year with an injury. But what do you like about her, and defensively, what would you like to see from your guys to be able to contain her?
Yeah, she really changes their entire team. I mean, she makes them so much better. She gives them an additional scorer. She's able to pass. She can defend well. It changes the look of their team, and they're definitely much improved from last season. You look at their record, and you look at the fact that they competed with Iowa State, who's in the top 25 right down to the final minutes in their only Big 12 game so far. So we expect a tough challenge from them. They're not the Kansas of old that, has kind of been a bottom dweller in the last few years of the conference. That's not what they're bringing to the table. They're bringing a team in with confidence, and a large part of it is due to her and her play this season.
Cece and Sydney were up here earlier talking about just how physical that game was against Baylor. What do you like about being able to be exposed to that early on now as you continue on and you face the rest of the conference late?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good for us to play them early because conference is more physical. It's more intense, and night in and night out playing. Every 2 days you're playing a game almost, and you have to be able to handle that level of physicality and do it with poise and toughness, and those are things in areas that we're growing in, and I think that, having played the top of the conference right away kind of sets a tone for, if you can handle that and you can control and do what you want to do under that level of physicality, then you're going to have some good nights against the other teams in the conference.
I think we just got to push harder. We got to step up and make big plays. We can't go on scoring droughts. I think that was huge. We got to rebound, crash the boards, box out, and be more physical. I think that's a big difference in non-conference versus conference play. And so we're ready. We're excited to play Kansas tomorrow.
How would you compare how physical Baylor is just to some of the other teams that you'll face here in conference play?
They're very physical, a lot more physical than I realized until you get in there, especially going in there to try to rebound. You just get hit all over the place. And so, all of us walked away with, bruises and stuff. But that's kind of fun, we got to fight back. And so they were definitely very physical. And so that was definitely something that we saw out on the court.
Cece, what do you feel like now that you've stepped away from that game you were able to learn facing off against the level of competition that you saw in Baylor?
That you can't take plays off. You have to be on a scoring. You have to score every possession, not just, like she said, going droughts where you're not scoring. So I would say that was a big thing of the game.
We were kind of just talking about her in the hallway, but when you talk about a player like Jessica Washington, what do you guys see from her, and what do you think it is that makes her so efficient?
I mean, she's an all-around player. She can do everything. She can drive. She can shoot. She rebounds too. So you just have to defend her at the high level.
You guys have not, neither of you have had an opportunity to be able to play Kansas, but what do you remember just about this team and this group? And that was, of course, the only conference win that this team was able to get last year.
Oh, they're definitely a beatable team, especially if you stick to the scout, which our coaches are very thorough about. And so one thing I just remember is like that Kansas is kind of known with their men's basketball to just have a great basketball atmosphere, and so I think they're going to come in with a lot of intensity and they're going to want to win, and so we're going to have to fight hard. So.
And Cece, obviously her third Big 12 Freshman of the Week honor comes after that Baylor game. Just how proud are you of her, and what does she bring this group, both on the court as a leader and off the court as well?
Oh my gosh, she's awesome. First off, she's so fun to play with, like an incredible teammate. I don't know if you can see on the court, but she is a great teammate. She's super encouraging and supportive. I think that's huge. And on the court, she makes plays when we need plays. When we can't get a shot off, she can get a shot off. She gets those scrappy rebounds and makes those defensive plays. And so she plays a lot of energy. And so it's fun to play off her and play with her.
Sorry, hold up 1 second. So, Kristlyn, another accolade for you this week in your freshman season. Is everything starting to get a little more comfortable for you with this team?
Yeah, most definitely. And just like having great teammates is very amazing. And just looking forward to play with them every game and grow with them every day.
How do you think this team has grown in these first couple of games of conference play?
We've grown a lot, especially on defense. But, I mean, we can't settle for less. We have to keep pushing every day and, like, trying to get better every single day.